you're pregnant, man, it's such a crazy journey, but it was such a cool time at the same time because you know this like amazing transformation is happening and you're growing your baby in your belly and all this stuff. It's so exciting. And at the same time, everyone's coming up to you and saying, congratulations. Oh my gosh, we're so happy for you. And so it's this like period of time that's like quite positive in many, many ways. And I always saw myself as a very type A person. I was kind of I was quite a perfectionist most of my career. And I was also very type A. So things had to be done perfectly. And whenever I would set a goal for myself, I was going to work towards that goal. I was going to achieve it somehow. So, I've had quite a great career. I've always been like, what's the next thing? That's always been how my mind works. So I get to a manager level. Okay, what's next? Director. Okay, after that, what's next? Executive. Okay, and so kind of climbing that ladder and setting those goals. And also, I was a runner, right? So I would like set goals. I'm going to run a 5-mile run. I'm going to run a 10-mile run. I'm going to do a half marathon. Why wouldn't it be the same with motherhood? So I kind of believed that I would give birth. My baby would breastfeed just fine. He would sleep in his own room from day one. So I had a crib and everything. All of these things were part of the plan. And nothing could have been further from the truth, right? Like these expectations versus reality was like quite astonishing. Gave birth, I started to breastfeed. I thought it would work out, and it really didn't. It was challenging because he seemed to latch just fine. A couple days after I gave birth, we had the midwife come and visit us, and she weighed him, and he really wasn't gaining enough weight back. And she said that happens a lot early on, so we'll just keep an eye on it, but make sure you're breastfeeding, around the clock all the time, which, I thought I was doing well, but still he wasn't gaining enough weight. And as the days went on, I started to experience a lot of pain in my breasts, which I was not at all expecting. You hear that breastfeeding can be painful at the beginning, but that it gets easier and like the pain starts to lessen. For me, it was the opposite. It actually continued to get more and more painful. And then about a little after a week of Roosevelt being born, we went and had him checked out again, and he still wasn't gaining enough weight. I started pumping and doing like the around the clock, like pump or nurse, then pump, then feed more from the bottle of breast milk, and then start supplementing with formula. So it was just such a crazy nightmare. Anyway, I was just totally shocked by how hard breastfeeding was. And then I went back to work, maybe 2 months after my baby was born. And so then I was pumping, 3 times a day while at work, and then around the clock since the breastfeeding thing didn't work out. But then just taking the time out of your work day, trying to schedule all your meetings around like pumping was not easy. And then, of course, I had some challenges with being passed over for a promotion while I was on maternity leave and all of these things. And I couldn't believe that this was all happening to me, and you hear about that stuff. Like you hear about uh, women being kind of sidelined in their careers because they become parents. And I just, you never really think, oh, that's going to happen in my life, right? And in this particular like job, I was already an executive, but it was a more senior level, and I had business partners that I supported that were writing recommendations to the senior leadership team and everything else. So I really thought I had a good chance of getting that promotion or at least interviewing for it. And neither of those things happened. So it was really eye-opening how much better we need to be doing as a society. So I didn't want other moms to have to go through what I went through. And I think pain is a really interesting thing. And as an employee in corporate America, my job was product management. And product management is all about solving problems for your user base through technology and digital solutions. And so when I taught product management, I would always say, if you don't have a problem, then you don't have a product. And so it's been in my mind for years now that I really wanted to create something that would help mothers have a better experience and better outcomes. And that's really where Leva came from.